everyone, we're going to be playing some Root Lesser. I'm Oscar, joined by Geraint Evans.
Hello.
We're playing Root Lesser.
Beautiful.
Which just came out today over here.
On PlayStation 4 and PlayStation Vita. We're
Yes.
obviously going to go with the PlayStation 4 version. Let's go for default name then, shall we? Yes.
Yeah, you got to pick Link.
Okay.
It's the canonical name.
It is. You can't deviate. So this actually contains real people in it.
Yeah, it's
which
not
I think
just
is kind of cool.
just a generic disclaimer.
No.
It is very close to the actual Matsue Shimane prefecture, in which it is based. I've seen all the press releases with all of the things going on.
So all of the locations that you see in the game are actually real places. Kadokawa Games, who developed the game.
So this is part of a new series. This is the first of a new series of sort of visual novels by Kadokawa. Is
That's
that right?
Yeah. Shall I jump in and I'll explain a little bit about kind of what's going on. So the game begins, and you're this guy, and you're about to move house, and you're kind of reminiscing about an old pen friend that you had 15 years ago while you were in high school. And she stopped writing to you for reasons that you. That's her. That's Aya Fumino. She stopped writing to you, and you always wondered what happened to her.
You got to get a
And
picture.
then, as you're kind of like packing through your stuff to move house, you discover an old letter. Here we go, an old letter that she sent you, which is unopened. And when you open it up,
no postmark.
there's no postmark.
Suspicious.
So this is a 15-year-old letter that you haven't read, and she says that she's killed somebody.
She must atone for her sins, and that they won't speak again.
Yeah.
But
so
this is 15 years old.
This is 15 years old, and that explains why you never had any contact with her ever again. So as the game begins, you have this letter. You're sort of reminiscing about your sort of past. It's going to go into a little cutscene here to set the scene a little bit.
I think he's on the plane for a bit. On
So
the
yeah,
bus.
so
he immediately decides to jet set across Japan.
So he's decided to go back to Aya's hometown.
We have to go back
to try and find out exactly what happened to her. So of course this happened 15 years ago. So
sort of a cold case.
Yes, it's a cold case. She's disappeared. The only thing that you've got to go on in terms of clues is the letters that she sent you when you were a kid.
The old address.
Yeah.
And the things that she said in her letters. So I guess it's sort of about like nostalgia and regret, I suppose.
Yeah, I think it's like that kind of like wish for sort of times gone by, like sort of themes about what would you do if you could change the past, and kind of reminisces from memory.
I mean, like 15 years ago for me, I'd be like 7, but I suppose for you,
yes,
maybe you
I would have.
You can look back and think,
what would I have done
different? Maybe, yeah.
So what you're seeing in this scene here, these are all of her old school friends who have obviously grown up now.
Yeah.
So
and who you only know by nicknames that she's vaguely.
So I think
told you in the
soon after this, you're gonna read one of the first letters that you ever received from her, and in that she details her old school friends, but she only refers to them by nicknames.
Okay.
So when you arrive at Matsue, the only kind of clue that you've got to go on are the nicknames of her old school friends.
Yeah. At this point, he doesn't even know. You know, maybe
he knows
maybe he's
nothing.
going to rock up and she'll just be chilling with some lemonade.
Exactly. For all you know, she could still be there.
Cold ramen.
But I can confirm that it doesn't go quite so well.
Things get mysterious and tricky, and things don't really add up or make sense at the beginning.
Yep.
As they were just explaining the subtitles of that.
So every chapter, there's 10 letters in all. Every chapter is going to start with a new letter. So this is the first letter that you ever received from her, which you're about to read.
Gives it a look in on the plane, because Japan's quite a big place.
So here you go.
Are you familiar with where Shimane Prefecture?
I have never been to Shimane Prefecture. I've been to Tokyo, but I've never been to Shimane Prefecture.
Sort of on the north coast.
It's supposed to be very kind of rural, very picturesque. I think a lot of people go there to get married. It's quite a romantic place.
So here's the letter.
So as you can read in the letter, obviously the game reads it out to you. We've kind of just skipped into it here. She's describing who her old school friends
Shorty,
were.
monkey, snappy,
fatty, bitch.
Oh,
nice.
Bit R-rated.
Four eyes. So this is the first clue that you've got. So you kind of get off the plane. You have this one letter, and it's up to you to basically track down one of her school friends so you can kind of begin the investigation. Now this is the smart bit, is the interesting thing about this is you get to answer the letters sort of posthumously, if that makes any sense. You don't know whether or not she's alive or dead, but you're kind of trying to remember how did you respond to those letters back when you were in high school.
Yeah.
And the way that you respond to the letters is going to determine which of the endings you get. Yeah, so
the kind of relationship you fostered.
Yeah. So yeah, and that too. So there's also the kind of ending that you get, but also what kind of relationship did you have with this girl when you were in high school, and you're going to kind of play that out through the answers that you give. So she's asking you what you like to do on your days off. So you can say reading, walking around the shrine, go play.
And it gives you a preview of specifically what there as well.
Yeah. So there isn't a right answer as such. Certainly not for your first playthrough. So you can kind of feel your way through it. The game encourages you to play through it twice.
We'll go with reading
to kind of to try and get what the game considers to be the true ending.
I guess it makes sense to ask her if she likes reading too.
Yes, but it's yeah. So there's an equivalent answer to the answer that you give her.
Nice.
So that's going to set up the first chapter. So every chapter that you do is going to start off with one of those letters, and you have to give a response. So obviously it's told in a visual novel style, but there are kind of more gameplay-like elements in it. So you can explore your surroundings. So for example here, you're going to pick up a guidebook from the airport, and that's going to come in really handy later on, because you can refer to that in a number of different ways.
It just tells you a bit about like the real area as well.
Yeah.
You don't always have to use it.
No, this is it. It does, but it opens up new areas that you can go to. And you can also use it as kind of evidence in some instances.
It's Shimaneko.
Shimaneko is
a real life mascot.
Is the official mascot of the prefecture.
I've seen photographs of this being real.
So
Shimane
Prefecture works really, really closely with Kadokawa Games to make sure that like all the kind of the shopping streets, the municipal buildings, all that kind of stuff has all been like painstakingly redrawn, basically.
Yeah.
I think if you look on your site, you got some pictures. I think of the real life locations and the location of the game site.
I like these cutaway panel things, kind of comic book style.
It's nice actually. It adds like quite a lot of like movement and stuff to the scenes.
It makes it dynamic, even though it is primarily visual novel.
Yeah.
There are some later bits where I mean, like there, like.
But it does add quite a lot. Certainly when you're interrogating people, and when the kind of the stress levels get quite high in terms of some of your interactions with the people that you meet, it does add in quite a lot of energy to what would be normally like a static scene. It's much more movement going on.
So we're on the train now, going into Matsue proper.
So I think if you go into check mode, there's like a little advertisement scene on the top there. You can highlight that.
Peep the lake too.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of different stuff that you can highlight. Gives you a bit of information.
An ad for an art museum. Wonder if that will come back later.
I think one of the key things that Zin Hasegawa, the director of the game, really wanted you to feel is that after you kind of played through it, for you to feel like you've really been there, like you've kind of got to know the place and got to know the sort of kind of citizens there.
Yeah, so it kind of make you want to go and just see it.
It's one of the. It's got even more so than something like Steins Gate's like really good, for example, at kind of like portraying what Akihabara feels like. But I think this kind of goes like one level above in terms of like delivering like a really strong sense of place, if you know what I mean. Like you really kind of feel like a connection to the place and a connection to the people. So you need to access your smartphone, I think. Go to the full map.
Yeah, we just did that.
So you know where Ayafumino used to live. So you can travel around as you get through the game. You're going to unlock loads and loads of different locations. You can visit them in any order that you want. You can visit them at different times of day to kind of meet different people, get different kinds of responses. So you've now come to what you believe to be Ayafumino's home.
There's nothing there, though.
And there's nothing there. So a friendly mailman has just come by. You're gonna say hello and see whether or not you can get any information out of him.
Don't get that in England. You don't get a friendly little mailman on a scooter.
Everything's fully voiced as well, of course.
And to show him the address.
Yeah. So
this just takes you through all the different things you can do.
Yeah.
Kind of shows you around all the different areas.
So pretty much everybody that you meet, you can ask everybody different questions, try and get different answers. You can show them different items that you've got in your possession to try and like trigger a.
It comes up with his thoughts there as well, and like red's highlighted.
So that will it doesn't always record everything. So like anything that's kind of coloured, you sort of need to you try and bear that in mind, because a lot of the details that you're given in those exchanges, you're going to have to call on later on when you're interrogating somebody.
Well, it looks like our guy's just looking for someone to just get some food now.
Yeah.
Got his priorities in order.
He's got off the plane. Man's got to eat. So again, like each of the scenes in the game are just like really beautifully drawn. Characters are great.
Senpai. Sanpei. This is just like a soba restaurant.
Yeah. So you're going to start asking questions around town, basically. Do you know who this girl is? And slowly but surely, they're all going to kind of give you kind of weirdly different answers to the same, which makes you think, hang on a minute, there's like definitely something up here. Yeah.
He said he's got a big stomach, so he's asked for the biggest thing. The biggest thing possible.
Oh, I think in this restaurant, you're going to get a first taste of what the game calls max mode. So
this is like eel and like it's cold soba, which Bryce informs me
is very tasty. Apparently,
quite popular. So I wouldn't usually go for a cold noodle.
No, with a fish head.
It's eel. I've never had eel actually.
That's good. Eel's good.
Very popular in Japan. They've just got eels everywhere. They're like the rats of Japan.
So the chef's going to come out in a minute, and then you're going to enter max mode. There's a few gameplay systems. So obviously you've got you can ask different questions, you can show different items.
Let's answer him in max mode.
Max mode is going to come up. This is obviously a really basic example of what's going on. So
and Max, of course, he mentioned in his letter his own nickname to his friends is Max, because he gives it us all.
So in various exchanges, you're going to have the opportunity to react to a response in a different way, and this kind of meter builds up, and you can choose kind of what level of response you want to give. So in this case, you want to go for the number one. You can say, I'm all about the food.
You have no
and he's
idea
going to go,
how
brilliant.
much I can
You're
eat.
like, yeah.
I am a max big eater.
And the way that you respond to things is obviously going to give you very different kinds of responses.
I'm always in. I'm max.
So there are some people you want to go in hard, as it were. There are other people where you're going to want to take a more
good life advice.
Take a little bit more of a softly approach.
So now we have befriended this man by saying we can eat so much food that we have now earned the right to ask him questions.
I'll start asking him about whether or not their house burnt down. So okay, so now you got your first kind of next kind of big lead, I guess.
Gave us a little chime as well for the information.
So that's all he's going to give up at this stage. So so you now know that he's the daughter of a professor. There was a fire.
Ask him about his daughter, I guess. Well, that's a good deal.
That's what you get. That's what you get for maxing out max mode at the right time.
I wish I could eat half price anywhere, really. Sumo legs
with eating
and
half price here, I can tell you. Okay. Yeah.
Where can I find out about fires?
Okay, so Matsue Library. So that's going to be added to your your deck of places that you can now move to. So if you go to the overall map. So so there's the central library.
Oh, it's pretty. As any good library has, it has a collection of newspaper archives.
Yes, so that's the first place to go.
Even the generic librarian has his own character portrait. Gotta look for those.
So I go.
He says that at the back. These are the new ones.
Yeah, it's the back to. That's it. Yeah.
Here we go.
So this is where things start to get kind of quite interesting, because you discover a news article about the fire, but it's also going to sort of throw up one of the main discrepancies in the game. One of the There's nobody here.
Should I be leaving?
Yeah, so look at the overall map.
Time
so
to
now you
check
can go
in.
to the Matsue Inn. So it's time to go back to your hotel. So very early on, what you discover is that the
time doesn't match.
Yes, the time doesn't match. So you know that Fumiya Aya stopped writing to you about 15 years ago. However, she died in the fire 25 years ago. So
something's amiss.
There's something that's kind of definitely not right here.
So this is kind of like our hub area.
So yeah, every day you come back here, you'll see Tomoko.
I wonder how much he's spending on it, or is it quite cheap? Do you think?
Well, he's got shared bathhouse, which we're gonna visit in a minute.
We still don't have the ability to think yet, though.
No, that will unlock later on. So the think is quite important.
What can you tell me about fires? Where can I find sailors? It makes me think every time.
Do you know what? Like, it does have a kind of like a weirdly Shenmue-like.
It's because it's a real place.
It's a real place, yeah, and it
feels like a real place with real people with their own problems.
And it does have that kind of attention to detail, and it's kind of like it's like a normal life thing. It's not like most visual of like Steins Gate or Phoenix Wright or Danganronpa. They're all like a little bit sort of comedic or fantastic in their own ways. Whereas this is very
not
much
very fantastical.
No, it's very much a kind of like a real kind of suburban feel.
So she's confirming that Aya is meant to be dead 25 years ago.
Yeah.
And the girl thinks it's some kind of well, she's saying that your pen pal must have been a ghost then, I guess.
Must have been.
Which is a bit weird.
So check your inventory, and then
you got
a photo. Yes, you can show them
around.
the photo. That's it.
Fallen in love with someone you only wrote to 10 times.
Okay, so now you've got your next clue now, which is maybe you should go and check out the school.
Maybe. When in doubt. But first you got to wash yourself.
So there you go. So he doesn't have an ensuite bathroom.
They wrinkle the old man. Yeah, I suppose so.
Hello. This is the life.
It's all happening over here if anyone wants to check out this
If you want to take a bath with an old man, then here we go.
It's getting a bit hot over here. Who's this guy?
He's sharing a bathroom with him. Nothing could be more natural than generations bathing together.
You wash mine, I'll wash yours. I hope he's talking about back. This game's going in a weird direction.
He actually crops up quite a lot. So you'll bump into this mysterious old man on quite a few occasions.
Does he have clothes on next time? What do you do?
He is Aya Fumina. No, that's
that's the twist. So he claims to have been.
He claims to be
in the FBI and the CIA. Is he telling the truth? Who knows?
We'll soon find out. So here you go. This is the main mystery. So you've come all this way. You've come to Matsue. You're looking for somebody who you lost contact with 15 years ago, only to discover that she probably wasn't alive then.
Bit odd, bit unusual.
She'll greet you every morning, turn your futon over.
No, you got it, really.
So,
don't get that kind of service here.
So it's time to go to the. You can go to the shopping area. You ask around, and then I think maybe we'll head to the school, see if we can.
Oh, he's not very friendly.
Yeah.
Just look it up in the guidebook. Jeez. She's not in some idol competition, so he doesn't really care. Show him the photo.
That's it.
Have you seen this girl?
Personal questions from a stranger. Nice.
Well, looks like
the overall map.
Looks like we didn't really find anything out there.
Shimane Art Museum. So here you're going to meet.
Oh no, it's raining. Some areas of Japan it rains quite frequently.
Shimane, for example, they even have a word
North
for
Coast.
meeting people in the rain?
She's about to tell us.
She is. So all
Here it
character
comes.
artwork in the game is just amazingly well done.
Any Shizuku is what the word is.
Anishizuku means to meet somebody in the rain. I think
fated meeting.
that's a beautifully romantic thing.
You learned something today.
Why don't we have a word just for that?
See, next time you do meet someone in the rain, you can bust that out.
Anishizuku,
There's a little bit of trivia.
and then a little bit of, and then hopefully some romance
Works every
will
time.
blossom. Nice. Did you know that?
You say, I learned that from Root Letter. And always carry an extra copy with you so you can gift it to them.
See, yes. PSN code.
Works every time.
In your lapel.
Print it out, cut on a small slip of paper.
So she's, unbeknownst to you, she's one of the first friends.
Yes.
Of Ayafumino, who you're gonna
Ross.
later on you're gonna have
Joey.
to kind of cross-examine her later on.
Which we know because of the cutscene, but he does not know.
No.
He hasn't seen the cutscene to his own game.
So all of the obviously all of Aya's friends are now, they're not kids anymore, they're all adults.
Yeah, with
So-
jobs and everything.
Yeah. So the game is very much as well about like how people change over time and people's sort of regrets for the past. And they've all kind of got sort of like a dark secrets, I guess. They're all sort of got something to hide.
We have unlocked the ability to
We can now think. This is a really important skill because there's going to be times where you're going to get stuck.
system, basically.
Yes, basically. But they're not too in your face. They'll kind of gently nudge you in the right direction. Because as the game progresses, you actually open up quite a large amount of different areas that you can visit at will. You can visit them at different times of day, and obviously your kind of inventory of like key items that you've like discovered or unlocked. The amount of combinations of things that you can do with all of those items, all of those people, and all of those locations is quite high. So the think system will kind of gently guide you when you're a little bit unsure about what to do. So you've just visited the high school. You've just been busted because somebody thinks that you're up to no good.
Maybe not the best idea to just go check out high school, I guess.
Just hang out with some high school girls.
It wouldn't be okay to do that over here. I'm not sure it would be okay to do that in Japan.
You can't just walk into. I don't really think you can walk into any school really and start speaking to the students.
But it seems to be the case that as long as he wasn't doing anything untoward, that he's not really going to get in trouble for it.
They're going to let him go, but it is a good opportunity to introduce you to a few more of the key characters. Yeah.
I think he's some kind of pervert. Put it this way, I didn't break any laws.
Your Honour.
Yeah, I think a little bit suspicious.
Your character's got quite a lot of attitude.
It's
actually,
got some spunk in it.
Yeah, it has. Like a lot of the exchanges and stuff that you have with people are quite amusing because he doesn't take any shit. Basically, he's more than happy to give it back.
And they don't really want to give him any information either.
Yeah. So you can't just rock up to school and
Watanabe will come back quite a bit, I think, because he's in the cutscene at the beginning, and he's also the coach.
So obviously, fairly early on, because there's the cutscene at the start, so you'll begin to identify who her sort of 7 friends are. And then the trick, really, in each of the chapters is to figure out how you're going to get them to
give up the goods.
To give up the information. So you get quite a lot of personal information about them in terms of your exchanges. Other people in town will give you like information about things like their temperament, for example, any kind of like weaknesses that they might have in terms of their temperament. So one of the first interrogations that you do, like the guy's got like a fondness for cats, for example. You also know that he's kind of like a little bit self-conscious about his appearance, and then you can kind of take those elements on, and then when you're interrogating them, you can use them to kind of get under their skin, and then the goal really is to get them to crack. For each of their friends, you're going to want to get them to a level of stress where they're going to reveal to you certain bits of information.
Yeah. So he had a creepy dream.
Yeah. Because it gets quite dark. Like Minotaro's artwork is really beautiful, and it's kind of really gentle and sensitive artwork, and it's really nicely done. But then, the setting is kind of quite suburban, so it sort of feels very kind of like everyday. But then, the further through you get, there's like this kind of dark. There's this dark undercurrent going on, and you're gonna sort of get an element of that here as well. You've gone to a bar, you've met this guy.
He is a good-looking guy.
And you're gonna have an exchange, and then again it's like another little thread, which makes you go, hang on, there's something kind of messed up going on here. And you're not quite sure what that is. So you know he's one of the key guys because his name comes up in green. So it kind of gives you nice little kind of cues as to where are the kind of areas in the game that you want to start like pressing your attention, basically.
Looks like there's some sort of
check. If you go to check, there's a photo on the wall there. Just yes,
of course.
That'll kind of open up a little bit more dialogue.
Oh, here's another character. Another character in that TV personality. Classmate of this guy.
Yeah.
So it seems like all of these people you're meeting are kind of in the same class.
Yeah, that's right. So you start to understand that they're all in class at the same time. However, you know that these guys were in the class 15 years ago. But
not 25 years ago.
Yeah, but not 25 years ago.
They're saying she's some kind of legend.
Yeah. So what you do know is that
Devil's Cut. I like a bit of Jim Beam myself. That's a real whiskey brand.
Yeah, it is.
I guess they might have had to have cleared that with Jim Beam themselves.
Maybe you do. So, I guess that is a thing you have to do. Do you mind if I use the words Jim Beam in my game?
He's recommending the castle.
So,
how old are you? 32. So yeah, the main character is about the same age too.
Yeah.
Seems like he might know a little bit. Show him the thing, I guess.
Yeah, maybe try the photo.
Pretty shocked.
Okay, yeah. But why is he shocked?
Yeah, he's getting pretty aggressive.
That's it. He's kicking you out.
Kicking you out
for showing him the photo.
Well, it is pretty intriguing. Should we wrap it up about that?
Yeah, I think so. I think we'll play a little bit on through this, and then I think that ends the first chapter of the game. And then after this section, you're going to get the second letter, which is then going to open up a little bit more, give you some more information.
Here we go.
So there you go.
Ghostly pen pal.
Yeah.
So take a look at the second letter then.
Yeah.
Planning on going back to the vacant lot. Nice place to hang out.
So that's the TV lady that got mentioned.
Who was on the photo.
Yeah. And now you've got her name.
Also a green text lady.
Yep.
Lots of tip chimes coming up. Nothing like being woken up with some hints and inventory items.
Yes.
Which is what I like at my hotels.
So this is the first time really that you get like a little bit more specific information about one of the seven friends.
Four Eyes.
Yeah.
This one.
And this chapter is where things kind of start getting really intense in terms of like finding one of them, accumulating evidence, which you don't realise it yet, but you've actually accumulated quite a lot of evidence against him. So you get to go back through that evidence and scrutinise it, and then there's gonna come a point where you and Four Eyes are gonna face off and try and get
battle to the death.
The first kind of key bits of information about what's happened.
So yeah, each chapter is like for a different character, kind of.
Yeah, to a certain extent. Each chapter is really a letter, I guess, is the sort of the best way to describe it. But within each of those, there'll be a time where you have to take the evidence that you found and use it to make one of the characters cracked until they give you like a really key part of the mystery. And I think that's probably the best place to end it here, I think.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we would start getting into spoiler territory. So. Yeah,
well, thanks for taking a look at it with us.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. It seems pretty intriguing. I haven't played much further past this
It is.
myself.
It's on PlayStation Vita.
Only
On
came
PlayStation
out
4.
today.
It is out today. We've also got the Pen Pals edition.
That comes with like a letter
here.
set and a really nice art print.
Yeah, really nice Shikei art print of Minotaur's artwork. The soundtrack, which is just incredible. Yeah.
I mean, it is all available on our stand. It just came out today. So check that out. Thanks for taking a look.
Thank you very much. Thanks for stopping by. Cheers.
Woo.
島根県松江の高校に通う文野彩です。